Seven Kings Must Die picks up the story of Uhtred, a warrior who was born a Saxon and raised a Dane after his family was slaughtered. The television series, The Last Kingdom, had 5 seasons. Our hero was finally recognized as the ruler of Northumbria, sandwiched between King Edward and his forces to the south and the Scottish king to the north. After 46 episodes covering the years AD 866 to roughly 918, in which Uhtred was exiled, beaten, attacked, and also accountable for more than a few deaths while trying to avenge his father. With Uhtred in place as the new lord of Bebbanburg and his young son Osbert arriving to join him, everything seemed fairly wonderful, though somewhat flimsy. But things in Saxon Britain never remained tranquil for very long. As King Edward dies and his widow Eadifgu and youngest son Edmund are compelled to escape to him in Northumbria for assistance, the drama of the Last Kingdom is continued in the film with further hardship for Uhtred right away. The seer wife of Uhtred's friend Finian, Ingrid, further dampens the atmosphere by sharing a dream she had in which 7 kings must die, and the woman you love. Since the prophecy shares the same name as the movie, even we can tell that it will be significant later on. Uhtred dismisses it because he doesn't currently have a wife and isn't a king. In the meantime, Aethelstan and Elfwerd, 2 of Edward's elder sons, compete for the throne. Uhtred offers to mediate a meeting between the two, but things don't go well. Elfwerd offers to submit to his brother, only for Aethelstan to stab him to death and claim the crown. Aethelstan, who is now king of Mercia, Wessex, and East Anglia, kills anybody who stands in his way. He hangs erstwhile comrades, kidnaps Edmund and Osbert, sends Eadifew to a nunnery, and exiles Uhtred to the Shetlands under the direction and control of his lover, Lord Ingolmundr. Not bad for an evil schemer's day. Aethelstan is unaware that Ingolmundr is secretly working for Anlaf, a Norse leader who has gathered chieftains and kings from Orkney, Shetland, and Scotland with the intention of defeating Aethelstan on the battlefield, while Ingolmundr is merely pretending to be a good Christian servant to his king. Before we get to that, a little housekeeping needs to be done. Osbert and Edmund are discovered unharmed. Uhtred recovers the sword he lost in battle. He and Aethelstan settle their differences, and Finian's wife and the citizens of Bebbanburg are discovered murdered by Anlaf's men, fulfilling the prophecies and the woman you love clause for poor old Finian. It all culminates in the Battle of Brunanburg in AD 937, in which Uhtred, his comrades, and Aethelstan and his soldiers team up to fight Anlaf and his allies. Does Uhtred count as one of the 7 kings who dies on the battlefield? Major spoilers, as well as some blood and gore, are ahead, so proceed with caution. Swords are pulled as Anlaf's soldiers and Aethelstan's supporters clash on the battlefield as fiery arrows fly through the sky. Spikes are dispersed on the ground, prepared to penetrate the fragile shoes of Saxon warriors in particularly horrible ways, and spikes are strewn on the ground. The priest and friend of Uhtred, Father Perlig, a veteran combatant, appears to be mortally wounded, and many more men perish in the most gruesome manner imaginable. Ingolmundr and Aethelstan ultimately come to blows while Uhtred surprises his adversaries by sending in additional warriors on horseback, so the Scottish soldiers flee, and men come to Aethelstan's aid, grab Ingolmundr, and haul him away. Don't worry, the traitor gets his just rewards, a sword in the back of his head, a few moments later. As Uhtred drops to his knees from his severe wounds, he looks up to see Perlig standing at the edge of the field. It is revealed that the sons of the 5 kings who were fighting Aethelstan had all been murdered, leaving no one to carry on the family names in Orkney, the Isle of Man, Shetland, Strathclyde, and Scotland, as they escape the battlefield understanding the war is lost. In other words, 5 kings or potential rulers have died. If you count the death of King Edward at the beginning, it makes 6 kings who have died. Will Uhtred be the 7th? No, not yet at least. Friends Sihtric and Finian locate a bloodied Uhtred on the battlefield, close to death, and are ready to transport him back to Bebbanburg, Northumbria. When they get there, Uhtred is healthy enough to promise Aethelstan his own Northumbria, creating England. One thing is required of Aethelstan, so that when he passes away, his half-brother Edmund will succeed to the kingdom. Uhtred earlier saw Aethelstan hugging the deceased, and now likely decapitated, Ingolmundr, indicating that he is aware the new king is gay. Possibly this condition is also his means of preventing Aethelstan from being forced to enter into a sad marriage of convenience. Uhtred, who has a pitiful, pale, and frail appearance, hears laughter and jubilation in the distance. He then moves to the end of the corridor and opens the door. Uhtred sees a firelit room filled with the many people from his past who have passed away, all smiling and drinking and welcoming him on to the next life, but everyone behind him can only see empty space. The seventh king had passed away, and King Aethelstan went on to unite the nation, as the end titles indicate.